Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to show you how to stretch your Claude usage limits further by just changing when you start your session in the morning. One of the biggest pain points with using Claude is the 5-hour session limit. Once you hit your usage limit for that session, you're locked out until that session resets, and that's exactly 5 hours after your first message is sent. So here's an example. If you send your first message at 9 a.m. in the morning, that's when your clock starts for that session. If you use Claude heavily throughout the morning and hit your limit, you won't get a fresh session until 2 p.m., 5 hours later. So if you usually run into your 5-hour session limit, this tip won't change much for you. But if you regularly hit your session limit and have to wait for it to reset, keep watching. So the idea here is to start your session a few hours before you actually need to use Claude. So let's say you start work at 9 a.m. Instead of sending your first message to Claude at 9 a.m., send a quick, low-effort message at 7 a.m. just to start the clock. By the time you sit down at 9 a.m. to do real work, your session is already 2 hours old. That gives you about 3 hours of heavy use before that session resets at 12 p.m. Then a brand new session opens, one resets for another 5 hours. So this small timing change makes a big difference, and it can really be great for pro and max plans. Instead of one session resetting at a fixed point in the afternoon sometime, you end up with 2, maybe even 3 sessions throughout the day that you can maximize your session and token limit. So let's dive in and show you how to get this set up. Let's start by opening up Claude Desktop. Click Code, then Routine, select New Routine, Remote, and give your routine a name. So I'll just call mine Start Morning Session, and we'll give it instructions. Then drop down the model and select Haiku. Select your environment or create an environment. You will need to create an environment, otherwise you won't be able to hit save. So we'll just make test environment here and literally keep everything blank. Just create and then select your trigger. So I'm going to, for this example, do 7 a.m. You will want to adjust this based on your work habits and your schedule. And then I would remove all the connectors. I don't need these connectors for this. Just go ahead and hit create. Tomorrow at that time, it will run. I have known the routines to run a few minutes after the scheduled time. So if you happen to be watching it, don't panic if it doesn't start exactly at 7 a.m. or 5 a.m. or when your routine is set to start, but it will run and that will start your usage. I have my session routine to start at 5 a.m. to send a message. So you can see down here in the bottom right hand corner, the date and time. So it is pre 5 o'clock a.m. and we can see that our session limit did not yet start. And now it's a few minutes after 5. You can see that the routine ran and our session limit started. So based off of my routine, the session started, and from 5 hours from 5 a.m., so around 10 a.m., I'll get my new session with a new set of limits. So hopefully this was helpful. If it was, please consider giving a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. It really does help. And as always, thanks for watching.